Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman, murder his family, and burn his kingdom to ash. I'm coming for you. Sometimes not giving up is the most heroic thing you can do.
Progress is all those moments that move us forward. Sensing which direction to take.
What do you think of this one, Georgia?
Yeah. Making things happen. It's not just what we've achieved, it's what's in front of us. Because life is a work in progress.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill. The following programme is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now! How do you like it? Off the show! So aggressive, so focused. Look at these two guys. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Well, the festive spirit is very much high here in the brilliant fighting city of Belfast. We're back at the SSE Arena tomorrow night on DAZN for the first time in over 6 years. 8 great fights coming your way, topped by your main event, the Get Back. It's Michael Conlan versus Jordan Gill.
December the 2nd, the first time we've been in Belfast since 2017. Nick Conlan
I've got something to prove again.
against Jordan Gill.
I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to be public enemy number 1.
I believe I'll take him in.
I'm ready to go.
It's going to be a good fight.
This is going to be an instant sellout.
Pressure's on.
I'll run through him.
Well, a very good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday, and that means one thing. It's weigh-in day in Belfast ahead of tomorrow's action, live on DAZN, which sees Michael Conlan take on Jordan Gill in your main event atop a great card this weekend from the SSE Arena. I'm Jamie Ward, and alongside me, as always, is former IBF World Middleweight Champion Darren Barker. You were laughing through that opener. Why was that?
How on earth was you just wearing a t-shirt out there?
Freezing.
It is freezing.
It was cold.
Very, very. Hence the jacket.
Do you know what else was worse? Is it took about 87 goes.
You're getting heckled.
I was. All sorts going on. And you were early morning swimming again.
Yeah, it's become a frequent occurrence now. We seem to be getting in cold water. I don't know why. I am still cold to the bone. I literally had a bath for about half an hour when I got back, and yeah, that's why I'm wearing a jacket. Still very cold.
This man, Darren Barker, does not know the meaning of a chilled out Friday morning. That is for sure. Darren, atmosphere building lovely here at the Europa Hotel for the weigh-in. After all the mind games, all the build-up, anticipation is really growing. What do you like about the whole package tomorrow on DAZN?
We had a joke about it yesterday, but the fact that there's so many 50-50s on the card, I mean, it's a brilliant bill. It really is. I mean, from top to bottom, it's fantastic. I mean, you look at the top 3 fights, they're special. They're special. They're real 50-50 fights. So much on the line for both winner and loser. Where does the loser go? Do they want to rebuild? You know, and I can mention all of the names there. It'd be very difficult for them. But for the winner, they edge that little bit closer to where they want to go, to follow in their dreams. It's a brilliant card, it really is.
And when you think about it, you know, we've not been here since 2017 at the SSE Arena, over 6 years now. And all these fighters, when you look at fighters like Michael Conlan leading the way, will be wanting to be part of the supporting cast, the big events here next year. So that means really they need to perform.
Winner stays on. Winner stays on is so important. I mean, look, every single boxer wants to be in this sport to fulfill their dreams. A loss just sets you back. And not only does it set you back, do you get another opportunity to fight on a big card like this?
Sometimes it takes a while.
It takes a while. So for that reason, the first bells are going to go and we're going to see unbelievable entertainment.
Well, let's remind you all at home, not just of the order of play for Saturday night's action, but also for today's weigh-in. We'll begin 5:30 p.m. start time across Matchroom and DAZN social channels. Fergus Quinn, who looks to extend his professional record to 9 without loss. He collides with Angel Emelov over 6 rounds at middleweight before an all-Irish affair. Jared Hughes and Ruan Farrell meet 6 rounds at super bantamweight before 18-year-old Lurley Buttigieg, 4-time national champion, that makes his professional debut. 4 rounds at middleweight concludes before the bell and marks the beginning of Lurley's professional journey. We'll then cross live to the main broadcast. 7 p.m, one place to watch it all, and that is DAZN. Rest, recuperation just isn't in the makeup of Cameron Vong. He fights for the 3rd time in just 8 weeks. He's in with the experienced Michael Dufek over 6 rounds before the first of 3 10-rounders, 17-1 southpaw. The popular Sean McComb looks to cap a very solid 2023 for himself, and he takes on his former stablemate, someone he knows very well, 17-2 super Sam Maxwell. He's looking to bounce back after defeat to Dalton Smith in July. 10-3s at 140 pounds before the big one. It's been brewing all week. Kevin Ajako and Troy Williamson meet in the middle for the WBA Continental Super Welterweight title over 10 rounds before your chief support, the Battle of Belfast. Can't wait for this one. Tyrone McKenna and the unbeaten Lewis Crocker collide over 10 rounds for the WBA Continental Europe Welterweight title before Belfast's own Michael Conlan takes centre stage up at 130 pounds. WBA International Super Featherweight title up for grabs. Jordan Gill, though, very much here to spoil the party. It's interesting, Darren, with the weight, the extra 4 pounds. It'll be interesting to see the condition that both men look in the scales today.
Yeah, and it will be a welcomed extra few pounds, trust me. At this stage of their career, the weight gets very, very hard. So who will that favour? What fight will that favour? You just, again, when I see the card, I just buzz. I buzz for cards like this.
He loves it. Look at the smile on his face.
It's just, I cannot wait. Give me that first bell.
He loves it. Well, the first fighters are standing by stage side, as is today's Master of Ceremonies, our very own Mr. David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here today to Belfast for the official weigh-in for our big night of world-class professional boxing taking place at the SSE Arena Belfast here on Saturday night. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Staged Front, Forged Irish Stout, and Everlast. Ladies and gentlemen, what a fight card we have. 8 fights in total. We've got 4 title fights, and at the top of the bill, Michael Conlan v. Jordan Gill. It's a great night of fights, so without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 6 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he's a 64-fight veteran fighting out of Sofia, Bulgaria. Please welcome Angel Emelov. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's a southpaw with a perfect professional record, 7 fights, 7 victories, with 2 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Balake, Ireland. Please welcome Fergus, the mighty Quinn. Now to the scale, Angel Emelov. $162.9 for Angel Emelov, $162.9. Now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Fergus, the mighty Quinn. 161.6 for the undefeated southpaw from Blake. 161.6 for Fergus Quinn.
Well, Fergus Quinn, Darren, twice for Emmett Brennan in the amateurs. Emmett, who we saw, of course, last week, picking up the Celtic light heavyweight title in Dublin in what was a brilliant fight with Jamie Morrissey. But what did Emmett tell you to look out for with Fergus?
Said he's an absolute animal, just relentless on the front foot. Funny enough, his opponent was Emmett Brennan's debut opponent, so it's a good measuring stick, good gauger to see where Fergus is at, but he said he's relentless. That was the word he said. A lovely lad, but non-stop action.
Quinn v. Emeloff, 6 rounds, middleweights getting us kicked off. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Belfast.
Quinn versus Emeloff, 5:30 p.m. tomorrow start time, on Before the Bell. And following that, there's an all-Irish clash to look forward to. 4-0 Gerard Hughes and 4-1 Ruan Farrell to look forward to tomorrow night. Let's hand back to David.
Our next contest, 6 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Now making his way to the stage, undefeated, 4-0 from Ballycastle. Here's the short fuse, Gerard Hughes. Hughes. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. 4-1, fighting out of Belfast, 2 knockouts. Here's Rion El Nino Farrell. Now to the scale, Rion El Nino Farrell. $123.3 for Rion Farrell, 123.3. Now to the scale, Gerard Short Fuse Hughes. $124.1 for Gerard Short Fuse Hughes.
Well, these two spoke well yesterday, Darren. This could be 6 rounds of fun, I imagine.
I think so, Brad. Right. By the way, that's my new favourite nickname. Short Fuse Hughes.
That is incredible. That's better than History Maker Baker.
Yeah, there's a bit of history there. I think they've been going back and forth on social media in the build-up to this, before this fight was even announced. They're both very confident that they're going to take the W home tomorrow night. And with what's on the line, bragging rights like we say, I expect all action in this contest.
Fake me the way you've been spawned. You fake me the way you've been spawned. 13-year-old. Is that what you did? Is that what you did?
Hughes v. Farrell, 6 rounds, super bantamweights.
Just adds to it, Darren. Looking forward to that one. You'll be calling that one from ringside, of course, tomorrow night. Looking forward to it?
Really, really looking forward to this. Like I say, bragging rights on the line. So expect fireworks, no doubt.
Well, our final contest, on Before the Bell, the professional debut of Laley Buttigieg. Here's David to bring him and opponent, Mario Oliveira, to the stage.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues right here. We've got a 4-round middleweight affair. Now making his way to the stage. 1-0 from Famalicão, Portugal, Mario Oliveira. And his opponent now making his way to the stage for the very first time as a professional. As Saturday night, he'll be turning over. He's the 4-time national champion, fighting out of London, England, Lely Buttigieg. Now to the scale, Mario Oliveira. $158.2 for Mario Oliveira, $158.2. And now to the scale for the first time as a professional, Lely Buttigieg. $159.4 for Buttigieg, $159.4.
Just 18 years of age is Lely Buttigieg. Great team around him with Eddie Lamb and Al Smith, stablemate, of course, of Sky Nicholson. And as we saw, Darren, with the professional debut of Giorgio Visioli in Dublin last week, Lely's very keen to let him do the talking tomorrow in the ring.
Speaking to his manager, Lee Eaton, on the phone a couple of days ago, and he said, do not blink. He's a tremendous talent, a very, very capable fighter, can fight on the back foot, on the front foot, sparring really well with the likes of Danny Dignam, Sam Noakes, Josh Kelly, and that kind of sparring is invaluable.
Versus Oliveira, 4 rounds middleweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Belfast.
Look forward to welcoming Lely Buttigieg to the professional ranks tomorrow. He concludes our Before the Bell segment. Big dreams to become a multi-weight world champion, but the story begins tomorrow on DAZN. And opening the live broadcast is young Cameron Vong, 3rd fight in just 8 weeks for Cam. He's in with the experienced Michael Dufek. Here's David to bring them up.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next contest, 6 rounds in the lightweight division. Now making his way to the stage, professional record, 36 victories, 31 defeats, 2 draws, with 23 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Prague, Czech Republic. Please welcome Michael Dufek. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young professional record thus far perfect, 2-0 with 1 knockout. Fighting out of Blythe, England, please welcome Cameron, the One Vong. Now to the scale, Michael Dufek. $136.7 for Dufek, $136.7 for Michael Dufek. Now to the scale, the undefeated Cameron the One Vong. $136.8 for Cameron the One Vong.
Went 6 rounds with Campbell Hatton last year, did Michael Dufek, stopped just 9 times in 31 defeats, has over 20 knockout victories to his name himself. We always encourage young fighters, Darren, to be active and build momentum in the early stage of their journey, but Cameron Vong is taking that to new levels.
Yeah, you heard him yesterday, he's over the moon that he's busy and active, and what a fighter he is, exceptional talent. Had a tricky fight last time, didn't he, against John Mosquera, but I thought he'd done well.
Adjusted well, listened
he
to
adjusted well, exactly that.
Vong versus Dufek, 6 rounds, lightweights, matchroom boxing, live on DAZN from Belfast.
Not short of confidence is Cameron Vong, and he says to me, like he said to me in the build-up to all the 3 fight weeks he's had, that he just feels he's born for this, born for the big stage, and he had a fillet steak last night before the weigh-in.
No,
incredible.
I said to him, you're living the dream. I don't know many fighters other than heavyweights that can have a steak before the weigh-in.
Well, next to hit the scales, the first of 3 10-rounders on the live broadcast, live on DAZN, of course. Former stablemates Sean McComb and Sam Maxwell put their friendship aside as they collide tomorrow night. Here's David Diamante.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the weigh-in continues And it's now time to weigh in the first of our 4 title fights for the night, as Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 10 rounds for the WBO European Super Lightweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 17 victories. He has 2 defeats, with 11 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Liverpool. He is the former British, Commonwealth, and WBO European Super Lightweight Champion, Super Sam Maxwell. Maxwell. And now making his way to the stage, please welcome the defending champion. He's a southpaw with a record of 17 victories against 1 defeat, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Belfast, here is the reigning WBO European Super Lightweight Champion, the public nuisance, Sean McComb. Now to the scale, Super Sam Maxwell. 139.6 for Super Sam Maxwell, the challenger, 139.6. And now to the scale, the public nuisance, Sean McComb. $139.1 for the public nuisance, Sean McComb. 139.1.
Both fighters, Darren, weighing in inside the 140-pound limit. We have a fight, and Sam Maxwell went into the fight with Dalton Smith in Sheffield with a lot of self-belief. It didn't go his way, but he's going in with Sean McComb here in Belfast, once again in the Lions Den, but once again with self-belief that he can upset the party here.
Yeah, look, he has that power. He has that one shot that can change a fight in his favour. They know each other. They know each other's strengths, their weaknesses. I believe because of that, the first bell will go and they'll get straight down to it. He seemed relaxed all week. So has Sean, really buzzing for these occasions to be on this show in a fight of this magnitude, Jamie.
Ring walk's expected around 7:45 p.m. tomorrow night for this one. He's had a good year, Sean McComb. Wins over Casey Benjamin and Alejandro Moya. Linked up with Peter Taylor. 6 wins on the bounce since defeat in 2021. Really good fight, this.
Sean McComb beats Sam Maxwell. 10 rounds for the WBO European Super Lightweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Belfast.
Well, next to hit the scales will be Kevin Ajarko and Troy Williamson. As I said in the intro, all the questions answered tomorrow night. 10 rounds, WBA Continental Super Welterweight title on the line. Excited for this one, Darren.
Oh, it's a brilliant fight. We know how good Troy Williamson is. How good is Kevin Ajarko? We've seen lots of talent from the young man. Very, very good fighter. Can fight on the front foot, on the back foot, but this is his real acid test.
Well, here's David Diamante to bring Kevin and Troy to the stage.
All right, our next contest, I cannot wait to see this fight. 10 rounds for the WBA Continental Super Welterweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 20 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 1 draw, with 14 of his 20 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Darlington, England. Here is the former British and IBF European Super Welterweight Champion, Trojan Troy Williamson. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, a perfect one. 13 fights, 13 victories, with 7 of them coming by way of knockout. Here is the 6-time amateur national champion and the undefeated former WBA international middleweight champion, fighting out of Belfast, Kevin Ajarko. And now to the scale, Troy Williamson. 154.2 for Trojan Troy Williamson, 154.2. And now to the scale, the undefeated Black Thunder, Kevin Ajarko. 153.8 for Black Thunder, 153.8 for Kevin Ajarko.
We expect Troy to really try and force the pace here, Darren. I think he's been in wars, been put down, got up. Kevin, by his own admission, just been a little bit one-paced at time against opponents he knows he's far better than, but this is a big step up for him. And you mentioned question marks. He's got to be on it from the first bell to the last.
Well, to answer the first question, yes, I do expect Troy to try and get on the front foot and force the pace. He knows that he can get stuck in, have a war and come through it. Kevin Ajarko, like I say, he's showed so much promise up until date, but this is his real acid test. Will he choose to box, stay out of trouble, get behind that jab, a very quick jab, may I add, or will he trade, mix fire with this man? It really, really is a fantastic fight.
Trojan Troy Williamson, 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Continental Super Welterweight Championship.
Would be such a big win in the career of Kevin Ajarko, this one. In his home city, sold so many tickets. And it would also, on the flip side, be a huge away day victory for Troy Williamson. Can't wait. Credit to both men. Can't wait to sit ringside and watch that one. And the same goes for this next bout. The Battle of Belfast. A prediction from both: fireworks, war, blood, thunder. In other words, all-out war for 10 rounds of boxing at 147 pounds. Tyrone McKenna and Lewis Crocker are ready. Here is David Diamante. Just waiting for the fighters to be in position, Darren, but you were in the middle of these two for the face-off yesterday. It was live, and I think the final face-off will be just as exciting here today. David is now ready on the stage. Here he is.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening as we go 10 rounds for the WBA Continental European Welterweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, his professional record, a perfect one. 17 fights, 17 victories, with 10 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Belfast, here is the undefeated former WBO European Welterweight Champion, Lewis the Crocker. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's a southpaw, professional record, 23 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 6 knockouts. Also fighting out of Belfast, here is the former WBC International and WBO Intercontinental Super Lightweight Champion, Tyrone, the Mighty Gill McKenna. Now to the scale, the Croc, Lewis Crocker. 147, bang on! 147, bang on for Lewis the Crocker. 147, bang on. And now to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, Tyrone, the mighty Celt McKenna. $146.9 for Tyrone, the mighty Celt McKenna. $146.9.
Well, Tyrone McKenna told us this week he feels re-energised up at 147 pounds. And after everything that's been said, Darren, between Tyrone McKenna and Lewis Crocker, is it one of them fights that you believe just can't disappoint? Is that fair?
Well, look, yeah, stylistically, it can't. They're gonna look. Tyrone said it yesterday at the face-off. He might not be the biggest puncher, but he likes to stand his ground and let big shots go. Lewis Crocker, a very, very big punching fighter. This will be fireworks.
Retirement tomorrow night? Retirement? No. Do you think so? Are you retiring, please?
McKenna v. Crocker, 10 rounds for the WBA Continental European Welterweight Championship. Chief support, Matchroom Boxing, and live on DAZN from Belfast.
Great noise in here, Darren, and a little taster of what it's going to be like tomorrow night in the SSE Arena, because these two have sold over 500 tickets each. It's going to be a cauldron of noise in there on DAZN tomorrow.
We mentioned the word bragging rights earlier, and this is exactly what this is. They may cross paths, both Belfast lads. They do not want to lose this one. So much pride at stake.
Well, it is more, isn't it, than just records, rankings, titles. Like
this
you
is
say.
pride, bragging rights. They might have to cross paths in the local shopping centre, knowing that the other guy beat him. You do not want that.
Well, I believe we are ready to weigh in the main event. After defeat to Luis Alberto Lopez, Michael Conlan knows there is no room for error if he is to get back into world title contention next year. Jordan Gill has plans of his own up at super featherweight. Let's get them weighed in. For the final time this afternoon, here is David Diamante.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here today to the lovely city of Belfast. For the official weigh-in for our big night of world-class professional boxing taking place on Saturday night at the SSE Arena, Belfast. Live on DAZN, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and this bout is in association with Conlan Boxing, as they're proud to present the main event. 12 rounds for the WBA International Super Featherweight Championship. And now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 27 victories, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 8 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Chatteris, England. Here is the former Commonwealth, European, and WBA International Featherweight Champion, Jordan the Thrill Gill. And his opponent now making his way to the stage, his professional record, 18 victories, 2 defeats, with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2-time Olympian and the former WBA interim featherweight world champion, fighting out of Belfast and representing all of Ireland, Irish, Michael Conlan. Now the scale, Jordan the Thrill Gill. $129.5 for Jordan Gill, $129.5 for Jordan the Thrill Gill. And now to the scale, Irish, Michael Conlan. Also 129.5. 129.5 for Irish Michael Conlan.
What do you make, Darren, of the condition of both men on the scales here this afternoon?
They look good, don't they? I think that extra few pounds has really suited both. Both look fresh on the scales, don't look drawn, don't look gaunt. And stylistically, like we've said, with some of the other fights on the undercard, I think this is going to gel nicely. A must win. Where does the loser go, Jamie? Where does the loser go in this fight? It's a long...
Eddie said
exactly.
it today.
It's a long road back.
I always think it's a bit harsh to say career is over, but what I will say, I think the loser of this fight will have to really rebuild and find something deep inside them to get back to world level.
I think it's as good as over. It is a must-win. This it is. They've got aspirations, both these, to push on and fight for major titles. A defeat here is curtains.
Well, let's bring them face to face. Your main event tomorrow night on DAZN, the Get Back. Michael Conlan versus Jordan Gill.
Come on, Jordan. Let's go, mate. Easy one, baby. Let's go, mate. Let's go, mate. Let's go, mate.
The cameras, boys.
Irish Michael Conlan, Jordan the Thrill Gill. 12 rounds for the WBA International Super Featherweight Championship. Matchroom Boxing in association with Conlan Boxing, live on DAZN main event from Belfast.
We know how good Jordan can be, Darren, on his day, and he told me he truly believes he can outbox Michael Conlan, who on the flip side has just been very clear. Said that in camp in Miami with Pedro Diaz, it's just dusted him off a little bit, and he feels like he loves the sport again, but he's been clear he wants a knockout. What do you believe, final thoughts, are the keys to victory for both men?
Speed, I think. Who can get in a rhythm behind their jab first, who can hold the centre of the ring, and I look forward to seeing who can punch the harder. You'd say Conlan, the way he dropped Lee Wood, I think we're going to have in the studio very soon. Speak of the devil, he is here. Lee, jump in.
Well, just before we have a chat with Lee, as I always say, the beauty of live television, the action doesn't stop tomorrow on DAZN from Belfast, because stateside Ryan Garcia is back live on DAZN.
These are the moments that define you. In this game, you don't stay down.
He's got the whole package.
You don't forget why. You don't settle. And you don't look back. And don't blink.
Garcia versus Duarte, this Saturday night from 1 a.m. live on DAZN.
And the stars are in town. Look who is with us, former two-time world featherweight champion, Mr. Lee Wood. Now, Lee, we know because we know you, but tell the fans at home about the friendship between yourself and Jordan Gill, because it goes back a long time, doesn't it?
It goes back a long time, yeah. We're like brothers. When I first turned pro, I was living in a little flat above a post office, and Jordan just won the Junior BAs, and he came to stay with me for like a trial week, see what it was like in the pros, see what we train like, and he stayed with me. And I remember the house had like condensation inside the windows on the quilts. It wasn't a great experience, but this is like, welcome to the pros, kid. Yeah, we had nothing, and basically we've been friends since. We've lived together for, I think it's 13 years or so in Sheffield. Wow. So yeah, we've been like brothers, and we both come from nothing to something, and hopefully tonight, or tomorrow night, is his night.
But first off, what a t-shirt, by the way.
Look at that.
That's a blinder.
You can get these on
I knew that was coming.
.co.uk, by the way.
I don't think Josh Warrington will be a big fan.
It's free advertisement for him, isn't it?
Right, I want to ask you, you know both really, really well. What are the pros and cons for both going into this fight?
Yeah, I can't give too much away because people are going to see this, but Jordan knows there's certain keys to victory, and there's also things he can't afford to do.
Right.
Just like when I box Mick, you know, there's certain things I knew I had to make sure I could not get wrong. But yeah, Jordan knows them. He's been practicing them. He's been down with Ben and Barry and Lee doing what he needs to do. I believe he's confident he can do that. He can get it across the line. I believe he's going to get across the line. But like I said, it's a hard fight. Mick's a very good fighter, but he knows what he needs to do.
You've been in the ring with Michael Conlan in what, by the way, was one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. What sort of conversations have you had with Jordan about this fight? Because styles obviously make fights, but what have you been able to tell him? What can you tell us? What can you give away in that sense?
Well, people who watch this are thinking, what do you know? You got I'm in for 11 rounds and knocked him out in the 12th. But that's not actually what happened. You know, like I said a minute ago, I've got a really good team, and they'll break down what you need to do and how your methods to victory, keys to victory. Obviously, I got caught cold in that fight, but I still managed to get up off the canvas, implement my game plan, and succeed in doing so. I believe if I didn't get knocked down in round 1, it would have been a lot early night. So back to Jordan. He's been working on things he needs to work on. He's ironed out a few things that it necessarily didn't do too well. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but I believe he's going to do it.
I think the weight might make a big difference to both here. They look full, didn't they? They look fresh on the scales. Do you think that extra few pounds would suit, perhaps, Jordan?
Yeah, certainly for Jordan. I'm not sure about Mick, but certainly for Jordan. He's been telling me a long time not to make featherweight again. Perfect fight for him. I didn't think Mick would be up at that weight. Yeah, I thought featherweight, he's not really a massive featherweight, but, you know, it's going to benefit Jordan. And like I said as well, the game plan, it's all right knowing what to do. You still got to go out and do it. Mick's still a great fighter. He's a very skillful fighter. So it's still a hard night's work, even when you know what you're going to do and you do the right things. But like I said, I'm confident he can do it.
Did you like Jordan's prediction?
Yeah, I did.
And knock Mick out in the 11th round, lean over to you and say, Lee, what took you so long?
You know, you always get a bit of tongue-in-cheek in fights, and Mick said that, you know, he's either going to knock him out or he's going to make him quit. Jordan ain't got quitted him. I could tell he ain't got quitted him. So I think that was in retaliation to what Mick said. But it's going to be a great fight. It always is. Mick's got great support. Jordan's got good support over here. And like I said, he's coming to win. And I believe he's going to do it.
I've got the feeling, Lee, from speaking to Michael Conlan this week, that you are on his radar big time. I think he wants to come. He'll come to Nottingham. He's made it very clear. And I guess, you know, it would be a huge rematch, wouldn't it?
Possibly, but I think Jordan's going to beat him tonight, and then that little rematch for him, it goes out the window. I've got my eyes set on other fights. Cordino, possibly. Warrington rematch, maybe, but I'm not really focusing on who. I don't really care who. I'll just go in there and win, because at the City Ground, I believe nobody's going to beat me, and that's what we're aiming for.
Do you not have a preference?
No.
You don't?
No.
Getting in with anyone?
No.
Well, we had Josh Warrington on the stream in Dublin last week, and he was brilliant, as always. But looking at what's been happening on social media between the period, because it seemed respectful at first, and I'm not saying it isn't now, but things do seem to have taken a little change.
No, it's not respectful one bit. I don't feel he's been respectful at all.
Okay.
I feel like if someone knocked me out flat on my back, and then for me to try and torment them and say what he said about me, I just feel like it's a bit of disrespect. I feel like he's telling that many stories about what actually happened, but everyone's got two eyes and they can see clearly what happened. He finally made the count, went back to his corner, the ref was counting, in his own corner was saying, turn around. Clear as day to him, he didn't know what day it was. So, yeah, look, like I said, I don't care who I fight at the City Ground, because if I'm fighting someone I've already beat, that's even a bonus for me. So it don't really matter to me.
You're enjoying these bragging rights, though, isn't
yeah,
you?
it don't matter to me, look. It says they're clear as day, won by knockout, so it's what it is.
Well, Leewood, whatever does happen, we know it's going to be a massive fight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Enjoy
Cheers.
watching
Thank
your
you.
friend Jordan Gill in action tomorrow in your main event live on DAZN. And I keep saying the action doesn't stop here. Well, it certainly doesn't as far as December is concerned on DAZN. Let's have a look what we have coming up next weekend. We're in San Francisco. Devin Haney, Regis Prograis. Cannot wait for that fight before the return of Jake Paul, Friday, December 15th. The flyweight unification fight between Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards from Arizona, Saturday, December 16th. Before the day of reckoning, Saturday, December 23rd. Saudi Arabia, the return of Anthony Joshua, and of course, Ryan Garcia in action tomorrow night on DAZN. We can give you one last reminder of the running order for tomorrow night. 8 fights to look forward to coming up on DAZN. We begin before the bell. 5:30 p.m. start time, your lead commentator. He's loving this. Smiling next to me, Mr. Darren Barker will be taking you through all the action. Fergus Quinn versus Angel Emilov begins proceedings before Gerard Hughes and Ruan Farrell collide in an all-Irish affair over 6 rounds at super bantamweight before we welcome Lurley Buttigieg to the professional game. At middleweight, he takes on Mario Oliveira. We'll then cross live to the main broadcast, 7 p.m. One place to watch it, and that is DAZN. Cameron Vong fights for the 3rd time in just 8 weeks. He's in with the experienced Michael Dufek. 6 rounds at lightweight for the WBO European Super Lightweight title clash between former friends, now foes as far as tomorrow night is concerned. Sean McComb and Sam Maxwell collide. Kevin Ajarko and Troy Williamson then do battle over 10 for the WBA Continental Super Welterweight title before the Battle of Belfast. Tyrone McKenna, Lewis Crocker, WBA Continental European Welterweight title. Before your main event, the return of Michael Conlan. He takes on Jordan Gill. The Get Back, your main event tomorrow on DAZN. 12 rounds for the WBA International Super Featherweight title. Well, Darren, as far as streams go for Matchroom shows in the UK, that's it done.
This is done, mate.
Done.
I feel a little bit sad. It's
been fun.
Can I come round for Christmas dinner?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can you suffer me for an afternoon?
Probably not. I probably won't see you again, actually, after today. We'll probably both be glad of that.
It's been emotional.
It has. It's been fantastic. Join us tomorrow on DAZN. We can't wait. Huge night of boxing action coming up from the SSE Arena in Belfast. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, one place to watch it from myself and Darren Barker. We'll see you tomorrow on DAZN.
Fight fans, this winter your December is on DAZN. Last month saw our undisputed Titans go to war, but the fights never stop on DAZN. Unleash an unrivaled December with unmissable returning fighters, unreal 2-division title contenders, unstoppable global superstars, and undefeated championship showdowns. The unrivaled schedule, only on DAZN. Don't miss it. Sign up now at DAZN.com.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.
Christmas, we've got it covered.
I've been looking for this all my life.
The latest blockbusters.
Hercule Poirot, I've found something. Hi.
And festive favorites.
Yippee-ki-yay.
From $4.99 a month.
Whoa, that was epic.
It's not what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
Disney Plus. Nobody does Christmas better.
Progress is all those moments that move us forward. Sensing which direction to take.
What do you think of this one, Georgia?
Yeah. Making things happen. It's not just what we've achieved, it's what's in front of us. Because life is a work in progress.
Boxing on DAZN, sponsored by William Hill.